of F, and now he's here for their first feature Friday. You are all here. I'm super excited. Let's give it up. Let's get it up. For Pete.T.S.D.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Good night. This is amazing. This is a huge honor. It's amazing. Like, thank you guys, everybody that just performed. Give it up for them. It's amazing. They are easily my 3 favorite comics in the city, and I love that. I love being like part of a diverse lineup too, because if you look at me, I am not diverse. Like, I did one of those DNA tests to like find out who I need to apologize to. It turns out I am 33% Irish, 14% German, also 48% body fat. That is too much. That is too much. Like, I am going from like being a person that has fat to literally being fat. Like, I'm like right at that tipping point where it's like I'm fat with a person. So I gotta work on that a little bit. It was not always this bad. I was not always in this bad of shape. I used to have a 6-pack. Yeah, I was in the Army and I had a 6-pack. And then I got out 6 years ago yesterday. And, thank you. I never worked out again. That's how this happens. That's how you go from G.I. Joe to gigantic. I went from looking like the guy in Call of Duty to the guy at GameStop that sells you Call of Duty. And as a veteran, I don't like Call of Duty. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm thinking they made it way too realistic. Like, not the combat so much, like I don't have the flashbacks. Like, they keep making new ones, but me and my friends haven't finished the first one yet. Yeah, it's getting expensive. Give us some time, guys. And what's the expansion packs if it's all the same maps? Not cool. Oh my goodness. I was not good at the Army at all. You guys are all safer for me being here. Like, maybe not the front row because the stage feels a little wobbly. But everybody else is safer for me being here. Because I don't like conflict. That's really the only thing you need to do well in the Army. It's a very conflict-centric occupation. And it took me 2.5 years to tell my dad he was saying my wife's name wrong. That is a true story. It's not one I'm proud of, but we watched the wedding video and he was like, "Welcome to the family, Christine." That's not her name, it's Christina. And I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, I'll say something tomorrow, honey." I'm sorry, that one was my bad. And I'm not aggressive. Like, I wasn't aggressive in the Army. Like, we'd be raiding a compound. And like, they'd be like, "Kick down the door, Stegemeyer." And I'd be like, "Let me jiggle the handle, maybe it's stuck." You don't want that in a war fighter. Like, most of the stuff I did in the Army, like, I actually started doing stand-up comedy in the Army. Like, that is a true story. Like, I started by like telling like stories and jokes around like the garbage fire. That is and is not a metaphor. Like, but we would have a fire every night. I would tell stories, and usually it would go well, and people would be like, "Hey, can you tell us some more stories?" But sometimes it did not go well, and people were like, "This sucks, and we're gonna leave and go on patrol early." That is a blow to the self-esteem when somebody's like, "We would rather do the worst human experience in the history of time than listen to this joke again." So I started getting like creative with it. Like, I started playing practical jokes. My favorite was one I like to call the Louisiana refund. Yeah, I had a guy in my platoon, real dumb, from Louisiana, And we had like a Canadian news crew on my base. And so I worked with them, and we made a tape that said that the Louisiana Purchase had gone bad. And at the end of the month, Louisiana was gonna be French again. And then he ran to the phones and called his wife and said, "God damn it, Michelle, load up the truck and drive everything to Texas. I don't even speak French." That really happened. And my commander made me apologize to him, like in a formation. And he went, "God damn it, Stegemeyer, I hate you. I H-A-T hate you." That is a true story. That is a true story. But you don't start with that, like obviously. Like nobody's gonna like start with like the Louisiana refund. I knew I could do it because I convinced him that if he pointed his gun at the moon, he would see the flag. And he was skeptical, rightly so. Until I told him that we landed on the bottom because it's closer, so it might look upside down. And that's when I knew I had him. That is another true story. So being in the Army, like people ask me now, like I'm not still in the Army, but people ask me, they're like, "Hey, what's going on in Iran right now?" And to that I say, "You grossly overestimate how informed the troops are." They don't tell us anything. You want me to break down Sunni-Shia relationships between the Iranian Quds Force and the Iraqi Kurds? I don't know which one is Disneyland. And I've been to the one in Florida twice. Like, we are not informed. I found out that we got bin Laden on CNN. I was 20 miles from where he died at the time. I came in the morning to get my coffee. I turned on the TV. I'm like, "Oh my God, we're done. Mission accomplished, guys. Bring out that banner." And still there. That did not work out. That's how dumb I was. I thought we would go home early. I called my wife. I'm like, "We did it." Like, to be fair, I did not get bin Laden. That was the SEALs. What I got was Pete.T.S.D. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's way better to have it now. Like, I'm so glad that I have it now compared to like in the 60s. It's like now you get a dog. That's nice. I have a Pete.T.S.D. dog. I love her. Like, she's not trained. She just also has Pete.T.S.D. Because she's a rescue. And it's true, but we're a good pair, because like a lot of times, like, you know, we're feeling not so great down in the dumps. We go for a walk together, and it's our special time. And I like that. Like, and sometimes it makes me feel really good because, like, up until a couple weeks ago, I used to live in this neighborhood, and I lived next to a preschool that was $40,000 a year. Yeah. $40,000, like they would paint, or like they would post the artwork from the kids like on the windows, and it was all over the lines. Like, not great. Like, I'm not here to like make fun of 3-year-olds or however old they are, but I'm just saying, like, their art program is lacking. But one day I was walking my dog, and this kid like is with his dad, and he's like, "Dad, that's a girl dog." And the dad's like, "Yeah, buddy, she sure is. Was it the pink leash that gave it away?" And the kid's super proud, and he's just like, "No! She has 2 buttholes." But he screamed it. And if you've never seen the look on a man's face when he's trying to figure out if that's the best or worst $40,000 he's ever spent, like, it probably feels as good as having $40,000. Because he's like, my kid is either the smartest or dumbest kid in the class, but I can't take him out now. Either it's working or he needs it. And that's a fun wrestling match to get to watch. That's all I'm saying. It made me feel better, and I think my PTSD is cured. It's not. I actually suffer from extreme short-term memory loss as a result of my PTSD. Like, I got a couple concussions right after 9/11. So now I hear never forget. And I'm like, that must be nice. Yeah. That was kind of wholesome. Like, at least as far as 9/11 jokes go. It's one of the more feel-good ones. For sure. I actually, like, I'm trying to lose weight right now because, like, my doctor told me, he's like, Pete, diabetes runs in your family. If you don't lose 50 pounds fast, you might lose a leg. Which is definitely the fastest way to lose that 50 pounds. You know, like, that's overnight. Like, that's not, no commitment, that's fine. Obviously, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to have to tell people that I lost my leg after the army. I'd just be real vague with it and like, the colonel got me. And then let them figure out which one. Just be like the old guy at like the VA home in like 60 years, like showing off like stretch marks instead of scars. You're like, this bad boy, China 2017. Sorry, China Buffet 2017. That would be my future. That'd be a lot of fun. Not so fun. Like, we'll get it. We'll cut that. Oh my God. I have some super exciting news for you guys. I have not told anybody this yet, but I have a brand new show on Netflix. Yeah. It is called Love is Blind, and I am like 6 episodes in, and I love it. I love it. Got you guys. I like it because Love is Blind is a show where like people marry people that they've known for less than 30 days. And I just think it's nice to see Netflix honoring the troops like that. That's the laugh of a man that knows. That's the laugh of a troop. I like that show. Like, it's a crazy premise because like they get these people into like solitary confinement. They can only talk to other people and they have to fall in love in 10 days. But my problem with the show is that everybody's hot. Like every single person in the show is like pretty good looking. And they just need like 3 ugly people. Like that's all I'm saying. Like, not even like that ugly, just like some solid 5s. They need like 3 knees. It's like, I'll tell you the truth, like, I would kick ass on that show. Like, anybody that's like a 5 and over 35 would win that show so hard. Because that's all we did back in like the 90s on Instant Messenger. That's how we flirted. We're like, you fall in love with somebody, like, let me see your face. And like, my scanner doesn't work. And we could just stay hidden, it was great. But I'd like to see their reactions, and they're like, oh no, that'd be a lot of fun. Like, not to make fun of ugly people, just to see if like the premise of the show actually worked. Like, I'm not too down on myself. I think every single person in New York is a 5. Like, I think the city is just a bell curve, it's just 5s, unless you're homeless or a Yankee. And like, those are like the only 2 extremes. Because like everything else, like your shortcomings like are outweighed by other stuff. Like, yeah, I have sleep apnea, but I also have a dishwasher. That evens out. I am a solid 5. Oh my goodness. It's getting warm, which is bad timing for me. Because, I mean, you see me. Also, like, I just bought a new coat. Like, I got one of those puffer coats. And that's fun. Like, it's warm, but I like it because it gets real big if I'm scared. That's just a dumb joke I tell for me. It's a lot of fun. I call that one Hoodie and the Blowfish. I've got another friend who's like, I have one of those friends, like, does anybody else that, like, anytime you have a conversation, like, they have to inject the fact that, like, they have a master's? And it's like the worst. It's like, we get it, Mark. You're into BDSM. That's fun. Oh, no, I misspoke that one. I said, masters. It's ruined. It's not funny anymore, guys. No, this is just the section of the show where I'm doing dumb jokes that make me happy. So this is for me. This is therapy. This is therapy. I'm actually in therapy. I should throw that out there. She's not very good. But I know that she's not good because of the fact that, like, I was leaving my therapist's office a couple weeks ago, and, like, at the same time a guy was leaving his therapist across the hall. And, like, that dude was crying like I've never seen a man cry. Like, not unless he's, like, touched, like, his face, like, right after eating wings. Like, those kind of tears. And I'm just like, the human being in me wants to be like, hey, buddy, do you need a hug? But, like, the New Yorker in me really wants to be like, hey, buddy, do they have any openings? He seemed way better than my therapist. Tears? That's amazing. Mine rarely gets the truth. It's fun. That is fun. I'm a straight married guy. I love it. It's the best. I know that I'm not easy to be married to because, like, my PTSD, like my disability is I have, like, memory loss and bad hearing. That's not easy to be married to. Like, half the time I don't hear my wife, the other half of the time I don't remember it. And, like, you'd think in, like, New York, you'd just be like, oh yeah, sorry, the war. But it runs out, like, real fast. Like, you only get, like, a month of that. Like, a couple of months ago, like, we were walking down the street, and, like, she was saying something. And then, like, she was about to say, I feel like you're not paying attention. But right at that exact moment, there was a huge owl, like, flying right behind her down the street. And it was amazing. It had, like, a rat in its, like, claws. But I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm not paying attention. There's a giant owl over there. So I just sat on it for months until just now. And it feels really good to get that off my chest. There was an owl. I was paying attention. Honestly, I was paying better attention than you because you didn't see the owl. I love you. That's fun. I am a married guy. I get hit on, like, pretty much exclusively by men. Yeah. Because I am what the gay community calls a bear. Yeah. You guys get it. You've seen the California state flag. But it makes me feel a little bit like I'm wasting my potential. You know, like, maybe I'm Michael Jordan, but during his baseball years. You know, like, getting a second base is cool, but I could be dunking on everybody if I switch teams. You know? It's a dumb joke. It's psychological. Like, in the gay community, I am I am a bear, but in, like, the mental health community, I am what's known as a polar bear. Because I will probably not be here in 5 years. I feel like that one's sad for 2 reasons. It's got a little something for everybody. I told you, my therapist is not great. She's the one that gave me that nickname. It is a scary time in New York right now. We've got coronavirus. Yeah, don't cheer for that. I don't really have a plan. Like, I'm like trying to take precautions though. Like, basically, like, all I've done, like, I'm not stocking up on hand sanitizer, but I have stopped eating at like restaurants with an A rating. And it's like B and C's for me now because I'm trying to build up my immunities. You know, just sometimes like if I feel I need a booster, I get a hot dog from the cart. Put some of that water on there, Chief, it'll be fine. This is fun. Super Tuesday a couple weeks ago, and now like everybody's like super mad, and they're like, you know what, Democrats, we gotta say blue no matter who. Which is like a fine motto if you're a Democrat. It is a terrible motto if you're a lifeguard. That's another one that's just for me. I think that's a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna throw this out there. I hate panda bears. Yeah. Okay. Did I get an awe? Like, I'm gonna explain it. I don't think that they're worth the effort it takes to keep them alive. You know, like they don't want to be here anymore. We should just let them go. They don't want to mate. Like pandas are so hesitant to mate that like we had to like as scientists. I'm not a scientist. But I'm trying to take the credit. Like scientists had to like figure out a way to like get them in the mood. And one of the things that they tried was showing them videos of other pandas having sex. Which is panda porn. Like that's all that is. That's just panda porn. Which means that somebody makes panda porn. You know? That's kind of fun. That's somebody's job. That's someone's job. Like right now in China, there's a guy getting home from work, and he's telling his wife and exactly one child all about the trials and tribulations that he faced today on the set of Pandemonium 4. And he's so excited because next week they're bringing in a big black bear for Eat, Shoots, and Leaves. That is the best title, by the way. There's not going to be a better one. That one is the GOAT. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a fun joke. I'm not a big fan of porn. I had a so that's my HR department laugh. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for coming out to the show. I had a really embarrassing run-in with it as a child. Well, not a child. I was like 15. My dad caught me with one of his Playboys. In maybe the worst way possible. Like, because he would get home every day at like 6:30. So like one day it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I got time. So I like go into his closet, I grab it, but he comes home like 20 minutes early, and he just like walks into the kitchen, sees me like bent over the table, just like right in the middle of the article. And he's like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And like the worst part was, it was a super interesting article. It was about like bank robberies. And I'm like, can I finish it, Dad? He's like, never ask me that again about anything. Oh man, that was a lot of fun. I also don't do strip clubs anymore. Like mostly because I get the exact same experience like puppy shopping with my wife. Like you said, basically like the experience is the same. Like you walk by and you're like, should I go in? No. They've had a terrible upbringing somewhere in the Midwest. It wouldn't be right. A couple minutes later, you go in, it smells weird. Roxy and Lola start walking over to you and lick your face, shaking their butts. They really like you. A couple $1,000s later, you bring her home. You're like, I did a good thing, I rescued her. You wake up in the morning, there's crap on the carpet. This is why you sleep in a cage. That was a hard left turn. That was too much. You guys are right to be outraged at that. I don't mean that. I don't crate train my dogs. She's a rescue. She can't do it anymore. She's been in a cage for 5 years. Traumatic, you know she has Pete.T.S.D. Don't judge me. That's okay. That got like way too real, way too fast. That's fine. I also don't go because I've only been to like one. It was my 18th birthday, and it was the best / worst experience of my life. I actually like my buddy. He called me up. He was like, "Hey man, it's your birthday. Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Sure. When?" And he's like, "How about right now?" I'm like, "Well, Boomer, his real name. It's 10:30 in the morning, and Wednesday." And he says, "I know, but if we hurry, we can beat the lunch rush from the GM plant across the street." Yeah, not a great time. So we get there, and it's me, him, and 2 other people. One is the bartender / DJ, and the other is the dancer. And I don't know what her stage name was, but I know what her real name was, because we graduated high school together 2 weeks before. Yeah. And then my friend says, "You need a special dance on your special day." And do you guys know who Gordon Lightfoot is? Anybody? Okay, we got one person. He wrote a song called "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." For those of you not familiar, it is an 11-minute long sea shanty with no beat on an acoustic guitar about the worst nautical disaster in American history. For 11 minutes, it's just some guy saying, hold on, I forgot the lyrics. He's like, "Load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty." That's the sexiest lyric. Like, God bless her, because she tried. Like, she's like, "There's no beat. I can try to, like, mimic, like, like, about the ship going down." It didn't work. It scarred me for life. Like, I still have questions about myself if I watch Titanic. I can't go anywhere near a shipwreck. It's not great. It scarred me. Don't do it. That's a weird story, guys. I want to tell you another story. This is maybe my favorite story of all time. It's the first time I was ever on a stage. I was like 4 years old. My dad's company was having their Christmas party. And at the time, I was deathly afraid of eggs. I feel that's important. That comes in. Like, my mom made me like an egg salad sandwich, and I like choked on a piece of the shell, and I was like a super dramatic little kid. I'm like, "Oh, I'm dying." I was fine. Because like a couple weeks earlier, I'd like tried gymnastics for a little bit, because like I wanted to be a ninja, and I'm like, "Oh, I should start with the flipping part instead of the karate." I did not have great like prioritization skills, and also we did not have a karate place. It was Wisconsin, so I'm like, "I'll go with the gymnastics. I'll kick people later." But I'm sidetracking. So I'm scared of eggs. That's all you need to know. And we get to my dad's company Christmas party, and there's a magician. And I'm dressed to the nines, by the way. I've got like a bow tie on and suspenders. I also have no front teeth. I'm the cutest kid in that room by far. And the magician is a huge cokehead. Like, he is like super into coke. And I know this because he was like making real erratic hand movements and like jokes about like magic dust every 5 seconds and sniffing all the time. You know, like, and just imagine 80s coke magician. That's this guy. He's like, "Oh, bam, bam, bam." So for the big finale, he calls me on stage to be his assistant. And like, I'm super excited, but he hands me an egg. Yeah, Ooh is right. I'm like, "This is not gonna go well." He's like, "I want you to smash this egg," well, he said crack, "right into this pan when I tell you to." And I say, "Sounds good. I'm gonna get my revenge on this egg, you guys. This is a growth moment for me." And he says 3, and I smash the egg on the thing, and I did it like with intense fury, like intense fury. Like, did you know that you could shake a cokehead's confidence? Because he looked scared. He's like, "Oh no, that was too hard." And I didn't realize at the time, I'm like, "Oh, I messed up." but I did. Like, I messed up bad because, like, all of a sudden, like, he lifts the pan, fire shoots out, and out come 2 doves. Yeah, but they're rattled now because they have concussions. It's not just me. And they see the stage lights and the fire, and they go like 3 feet and then come right back, right at me. And one of them gets stuck in my suspenders, you guys. Like, in the suspenders, so now I'm running around the stage with a bird fighting for its life, and I'm like, ah! And the bird's just like, no, 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 like pecking and like flapping at me. And I shit my pants on the stage. And that was the first time I was on stage. For some reason, I got back on the horse. And I want to say thank you guys to all of you for like getting me back on this horse. Because like, I love comedy. I love you guys so much. Because comedy for me is really therapeutic. I actually suffer from extreme short-term memory loss. I got a couple concussions and Pete.T.S.D. after 9/11. So I hear like never forget. And I'm like, that must be nice. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you guys.